So the event that Delaney and I created was Seaside Fest, an indie music festival on the beach at historic Virginia Key Beach Park in Miami, Florida, happening this summer, June 21st to June 23rd. And then our event overview. This event, we're doing a music festival, and we really wanted to do it on the beach, add a new factor into these music festivals happening. So we planned it in Miami, and the genre we're aiming to center our festival around is indie music. Um, we haven't seen a lot of bigger music festivals surrounding indie music, and indie music is a genre that's becoming more and more popular. So we wanted to highlight that. And this event, we also wanted to focus on it being a green event and promoting environmental conservation. That goes in hand with us planning it on the beach. We wanted to focus on keeping the beaches clean and raising money for that. So that will go into our campaign and also our event planning. And then for our event objectives, objective number one, within 2 months, we want to secure 70 indie artists and have them sign contracts for the festival, have them booked in. Um, and we will research and reach out to 15 artists every week leading up to the festival. And out of those 15 artists, our goal is to have at least 9 of them contract with the festival. And then we'll begin building our lineup from there to promote. And then objective number two, 9 months before the event, we will open our registrations and begin accepting attendees. Um, we want to open it early so that we can start promoting it earlier and have people excited about the event and release our countdowns and our lineups leading up to that. The venue can hold at least 3,000 people. So we want to promote registration over a longer period of time so that we can fill up that capacity. And then objective number three, from when we open registration to the day of the event, 9 months later, we will have at least 35% of individuals purchase a $30 swag bag of various goodies and necessary festival items. And we're doing this mainly because um, ticket sales and food and drink are kind of just helping cover expenses of the event. So we'd just be breaking even basically with that. So we want to focus on merch and swag bags to really help profit so that we can make this festival worth it for us to do again if we have a high enough profit. And then this is our mood board for the event. We wanted to focus on the music, the beach, the conservation, and then also the food and drinks we'll be offering. Um, this is a pretty big venue on the beach, so we want to focus on our more open green spaces for people to relax and have fun. And then also our stage area is where people can get a little more loud and dance. And there's just various options for people to do when they're there at our venue and our music festival. And then our festival timeline, January through March, that's mainly about booking artists, getting those artists secured so that we can start releasing our lineup and then posting on social media from there. The end of that period around March is when we're going to start booking our vendors and our staff. We really need to make sure we have those artists secured before we do anything else since they're the main attraction there. So without the artists, we wouldn't be able to do much. So once those artists are all booked, we'll start hiring our staff and getting those vendors in. And vendors will be more likely to want to book with us once they have our full lineup and see how big this festival is going to be. And then April through May is when we're going to start paying for that, doing our down payments for all of our equipment and vendors. And this is when we're really going to start focusing on social media, doing sweepstakes and giveaway posts, releasing images of the venue, starting our countdowns. And then also to start making some profit, we're going to do our merch drop in May. So that'll also help people get excited about the event once they get their merch in. And then June is really the first half of June is about just counting down, doing social media posts, making sure that we don't lose traction for this event. And then near the end of June is mainly logistics, where we're just um, paying our rentals, checking the weather for the event, reviewing details, scheduling drop off and pickup times for all of our equipment for production. That's it. June is mainly about finalizing those nitpicky details. And then for our production schedule, Thursday is the day before the event starts. So that's all about finding out assignments, where staff is going to be on location, doing a walkthrough with staff, setting up the stages and equipment, just making sure everything's going to be ready to go the next day. And then Friday is the first day of the event. This is where we're going to focus on doing run throughs, tech tests, rehearsing, anything like that. And we're doing that from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. before the show starts, before patrons start getting there, just to make sure everything's running smoothly at all stages. And then, so at noon is when the gates are going to open, and that's when all the patrons will be entering. And from the rest of the night, it'll just be the music going on, making sure staff is positioned and working. And then that's the rest of Friday night. Saturday night is pretty much the same. It's just we're bringing in the new artists. They got checked in on Friday night. And then so Saturday morning, we're doing run throughs again. All those new artists can do dry rehearsals, making sure they're prepared. And then again at noon, we have the gates opening and all the patrons coming in. And then that afternoon is when the Sunday artists get checked in and they're getting ready for that day. And then Sunday, here they come. They're in at 8 a.m. It's pretty much the same schedule, making sure they're all set up for the day, doing our rehearsals, making sure technology's still working from the past 2 days. And then gates open at noon. And then that's the last day. They're just finishing up with all their sets. And then we leave cleanup for Monday. Monday's basically about making sure everything's all packed up correctly, the venue's in good shape, and then all of the staff is getting their payment for the whole weekend. And then for our budget, the biggest portion of our budget was staffing for sure. We have a lot of staff because it is such a big event. And also, we have administration staff, security, people working the bars. Um, so, a lot goes into it, and these people have to be paid for the 3 days they're there. Um, so, that does take a large portion out of our profit. Our second biggest is going to be food and beverage. There's going to be at least 3,000 people there for 3 days. And so they're going to be spending a lot of money. So we have to pre plan and make sure we're buying enough food and alcohol and water for these people for the 3 days they're going to be there. And then side expenses were a pretty big chunk as well because we had to rent this venue. It's a pretty big space, but we thought it'd be worth it for what we could offer. And paying for parking and medical staff to be there on site was also a big chunk. But luckily, we were able to calculate a good amount of profit, profiting about $400,000, which is pretty good profit in the end, because that's considering that all staff are already been paid. So that $400,000 is going towards those who were like administrative and plan the event. So I'd say that's a pretty decent profit in the end. Um, our biggest portion of profit was admissions. That is where we really were able to like at least break even from our expenses. That's from all ticket sales, all admission. And then our second biggest income is going to be from those swag bags we were talking about, meal pans, parking packages, any of those extra little perks that we charged people for. That really helped us with a profit. And then we had our exhibitors, those made us a big amount of profit as well. So any of the booths we had set up, we're going to have artist booths offered at the venue for an extra entertainment factor. So that really will help bring up sales. And then apparel was our smallest, but still a decent amount of of money. Any merch from the festival or the artists gave us about $70,000. And for our marketing materials, we created flyers with QR codes to both print out and physically pass around, as well as post on our social media. And QR codes keep people curious. So we thought we would get a lot of traction from those, people trying to scan them. And as you can see throughout this presentation, we've had very consistent color themes and beach themes. So we tried to make all of our marketing materials very pleasing to the eye, very consistent. And then another thing we did was our giveaway, VIP access, drink credits, swag bags. Um, anyone loves something free, so posting this to our social media and handing out flyers for this, we thought would gain us a lot of traction for the event. And then this is our lineup. It's 70 artists. They're all pretty popular indie artists. We wanted to include to get people excited. And then this is just the lineup. The artists we made sure there was breaks so people can make it from stage to stage in between artists. And they had breaks to go to the bathroom, get food, get water, anything like that. And this is our event map of the venue. The stages are pretty spread out, so the sound won't be bleeding into each other, and they're all right on the beach, so guests can access that. And food will be in a separate area, so it's not too loud over there. And there's parking lot on this on site. And then overall, we think our event was a success. We ended up with a large chunk of profit considering it was only a 3-day event, and we successfully followed our very detailed plan. I think our best thing was our strong schedule. It was very organized. So I think in the end, I would use this venue again for the same concept of our music festival.